In the world of mixed martial arts, some fighters just seem to live in their own reality. We call them delusional fighters. These are the guys who come up with crazy excuses for their losses, or they're making bold claims that just don't match up with the facts. In this video, we're going to take a fun look at some of the most delusional fighters in the UFC, and we're going to check out their wildest statements, the excuses they made after losing, and how they try to cope with defeat. From claiming they're better than the legends to blaming some of the weirdest things for their bad performance, we've got that all covered. Also, just to clarify, this is only for current active MMA fighters. Nothing from the past. You're not going to see a Ronda Rousey or a Kevin Lee in this list, and it's going to be more relevant and recent fighters. So if you're wondering why a certain fighter is not on this list, most likely it's a fighter from the past that's no longer active, or I just happen to miss them. But anyways, let's just start this list. Now, the first guy that I'm going to bring up is none other than Jamal Hill. My guy lost to Alex Pereira like 3 to 4 months ago, and he's still coping with the loss, which is just insane. The dude has been saying that the ref is the reason why he lost, or he stated weird stuff like how he barely took any damage in that fight and that he was totally coherent. And let me just tell you this, Jamal Hill, no, you were not. You were asking the ref what happened. It's just crazy because I've never seen anyone talk so much crap after getting knocked out in the first round. At this point, I'm convinced that Jamal Hill would try to convince you that his stoppage was early and that he was intelligently defending himself with his face. God forbid Jamal sees this video, because he's gonna start leaving 5 paragraphs just like how he does on Twitter and argue against everybody around the comment section. And to be honest, I don't really hate the guy. He's kind of growing on me in an entertaining way, and I just really can't take him that serious. If anything, I think he should just take a break from the internet and take a little vacation. This dude is just too salty and he's just coping way too much. And yeah, just relax, Hill. You don't need to fight anytime soon, and just stay off your phone, man. Now, the next person I have on the list is none other than Balal Muhammad. And man, I don't know if you guys remember this, but at one point this guy said if he beats Leon Edwards, then he has a better resume than GSP, and that would make him the greatest welterweight of all time. And look, I know what you guys are thinking, he's just trolling, but man, I don't think he is. I actually think that this man believes that. Now, do I think he could beat Leon Edwards? Absolutely, but if he did, he would beat him by decision. And that's my thing, bro. You cannot be the GOAT of MMA and all your fights go to decision. And look, I know what you're gonna say, he knocked out Sean Brady. Okay, that's good, but that was a standing TKO. That wasn't a natural regular TKO. He couldn't even drop the guy. You know how insane that is? But like, man, I love Balal, and to be honest, he's actually growing on me. I honestly feel like he's too overhated, and I like how he talks all weird and fast too. And honestly, I think the guy is just too overhated overall. But yeah, guys, be more nice to the dude. But I had to call you out, Balal. You're in the list. So anyways, moving on, the next person we have on the list is Bryce Mitchell. Oh my lord, if there was a tier list, this guy would definitely be in the S tier. I mean, this guy did cope about his loss to Topuria a bit, but that's not the reason why he's on the list. The main reason why he's on the list is because he's a flat earther. Yes, he believes that the earth is freaking flat. He thinks everything is a government ploy. I mean, he doesn't think gravity is real too. This guy is delusional in a different way. He's just crazy because he believes in all these weird conspiracy theories. Now, as a fighter, he's pretty straightforward, but yeah. But you know, I had to put this guy on the list. The next fighter we have is Tony Ferguson, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, I actually did not want to put Tony on this list, man. But the dude actually thinks he's gonna win a match eventually. I mean, the guy is on a 7-fight losing streak, and for some reason he doesn't stop or consider retirement. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was during the interview before his fight with Bobby. I believe so. And I believe Tony claimed that he was on his prime. Or what about that one time when Tony was training with David Goggins to train for his Paddy fight? And if you don't know who David Goggins is, he's a motivational speaker / trainer. And that's the thing, right? Tony doesn't really need mental toughness. The dude is arguably the toughest guy in the UFC. But to be fair, Tony has always been kind of crazy. This isn't really a surprise for anyone when you really think about it. It's just a super sad thing to see, to be honest. Now, the next guy we have is Anthony Smith. And I'm gonna be real with you, on paper, it looks like everyone can beat Smith, but when you take away all their skills, Anthony can actually win. That's Anthony Smith in a nutshell. Man, the dude is delusional as hell. Not to mention that he's in denial that he can beat everyone in the division except Roman Dolidze. He was just a bad stylistic nightmare. Like, if you heard his latest interview with Bisping, Smith was talking about Roman Dolidze like he was prime Fedor. Mind you, Roman Dolidze gets bodied by everyone. Even Marvin Mid-Vittori beat him up. The problem with Anthony Smith is that he normally gives up in his fights, and now he's coping about this loss, man. And man, imagine saying that Roman Dolidze is a nightmare matchup. But I do feel bad for the guy, and if you ask me, I hope he calls it a career really soon. Now, the next guy we have on the list is Ian Garry. Holy stink, man. I mean, where do I start? I guess we could start with his relationship, am I right? I mean, for starters, he took his wife's last name, and not to mention his wife's ex is Ian Garry's nutritionist, and Ian's wife is like 20 years older than him. She is a wag, and Ian is in denial. He's coping about this, and if that wasn't bad enough, his recent performance against MVP was obviously a boring fight, but he had the audacity to say that he outstruck MVP, even though that never happened because the dude became a wrestler. And I'm gonna be real with you, I feel like we used to love hating on Ian Garry because he was so cringy and unlikable, but now it got to the point where he's just unlikable. It's not even fun to hate on Ian Garry anymore, which makes him even more unlikable. And at the end of the day, Ian is just so freaking delusional, and I can't stand the dude either. The next person we have on the list is Juliana Pena, and man, is she crazy too. As we all know, she got that crazy upset win over Amanda Nunes years ago, but in the rematch, she got schooled and arguably got embarrassed. And it was an embarrassing performance, and I mean embarrassing. And believe it or not, she actually believes that the second fight was really close. Like, she thought the fight was competitive, but if you go back and watch the fight, she was getting flung across the octagon. And even after that fight, she even said that Amanda Nunes retired because of her, because she was too afraid to fight Juliana Pena again, which is absolutely insane. I feel like she totally believes everything she says, and even if she's playing the character or not, I will give her this: she is the most entertaining female when it comes to being on the mic. Anyways, the next and the last fighter we have on the list is Chris Weidman. Man, or what I like to call him, Chris Iman, because this dude freaking eye poked Bruno Silva not once but twice and TKO'd him afterwards. And this dude had the audacity to go on Ariel Helwani's show and say that Bruno was acting like the eye poke cost him the fight and that he should have sucked it up. The dude even questioned, like, what's going on with the sport? Where are the real men? And this is why Chris is delusional. He's literally in denial. I mean, the dude was on a 3-fight losing streak, so he really needed that win. But still, man, that's kind of messed up to have no remorse for Bruno. You eye poked him twice on purpose. You're kind of a douchebag, to be honest. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much my list that I made for delusional MMA fighters. If I miss anybody, let me know in the comments down below. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was kind of fun to make, especially since MMA has been really slow right now. So I'll probably make something else in the following days, so stay tuned. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that is. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.